The stories shared on the Busy Baddies are submitted by real listeners and are intended for entertainment and discussion purposes only. To protect the privacy of everyone involved, all names, companies, and identifying details have been changed or omitted. Any resemblance to real people or events are purely coincidental. We believe in keeping it real while keeping it respectful. Thank you for sharing your experiences and for trusting us to spill the tea with care. Welcome back, baddies. We're Michelle and Melissa, and this is season 3 of the Busy Baddies. If the last year has taught us anything, it's this: being busy isn't the same as building the life that you actually want. We've experienced unexpected endings, incredible new beginnings, heartbreaking losses, career pivots, and moments that forced us to ask ourselves one simple question: what really matters?
This season, we're having the conversations everyone needs, but not enough people are willing to have: leadership, reinvention, confidence, failure, success, boundaries, faith, business, relationships, and the messy middle that connects it all. We're bringing you the honest conversations, inspiring guests, plenty of laughs, a few uncomfortable truths, and hopefully the encouragement you need to take your own next step.
So grab your coffee or your cocktail, because whether you're driving to work, walking the dog, or hiding in your office pretending you're on another Zoom call,
We're so glad you're here. This is the Busy Baddies, where busy women become better women. Let's get into it.
Hey everybody, welcome back.
Welcome back.
Season 3, episode 3, so lots of threes.
Yeah, 333. Go play the daily 3.
Exactly, the daily 3, the daily double, whatever it is. So, what are we talking about today?
Okay, I'm excited for this topic. I think I hope that we get a lot of input because my entire admin professional career has been solely at my place of employment now. And so I would love to hear all of our listeners and how this works at their company. But we are talking about the admin title war.
I love it.
I love it too, because I feel like
It is a war.
I feel like you're right. It is a war. I think we're all paying attention to like, well, what is what does that mean?
Yes.
And even some of my counterparts at other companies, I'm like, what? Whoa, I've never heard of that title.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna talk about what titles we have, what we think they mean.
Yeah.
And hopefully hear from some of our listeners. I mean, Melissa, you've worked at a few other companies and have a little bit more experience in outside places, and so get your input of how the hell admins were classified in those areas. But
the unspoken office hierarchies, maybe the drama that comes with that.
Yes.
So I feel like this could go 100 different directions.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Let's get into it.
Yeah. Okay, so I and me having experience in our union that we have at our place and non-union, I feel like even internally there's a very big difference. Of what our admin titles are. And then we also seem to have different admin titles in regions, in states, in different businesses in our company. And if it confuses the hell out of me and I work for the company, I can't imagine how confusing it is to an outsider or maybe somebody even internally looking for a different job.
Yeah.
So when I started, 14 plus years ago, I came in what was called a level 3 analyst.
Okay.
Wasn't analyzing a damn thing.
Right. I was going to say, never heard that one before.
Yeah. So it was a very weird title for an admin, I guess, job. And I don't even know today if and again, this was a union role. I don't even know if they have that title anymore. But that was kind of like your entry level admin job. I had a college background. I had, obviously a decade of work history. So they actually wage slotted me in a little higher than like what the entry level coming in was. So I thought that was cool. But I mainly was kind of adminning in a small team. I think there were 3 of us. And we led training. So I was responsible for signing people up for the training materials. There were like big Post-it flip charts that I had to do for all of the trainings. So, I mean, really low key admin work,
And look at you now.
And look at me now. I was on a call earlier. So this was funny. Never heard this before. But there's an upcoming trip that my boss is going to next year. And so we had a kickoff meeting. And the leader in that region was introducing me to the team that was on the call. And he introduced me as the deputy CEO. And I was cracking up. And he's like, well, it's true, isn't it? And I was like, I don't know what that actually means. But I just thought it was hysterical. And I was like, I like the sound of that. But anyway, so I've come in from a level 3 analyst to deputy CEO. So, I mean, I'm going places.
As the lowly bottom feeder all the way straight to the top 14 years later. My.
Oh, yeah. So, while I was in that level 3 role, I was working really closely with my manager at the time. And again, we were a small team of 3. And he saw the potential in me. And he was actually the one that got me my job today. I've talked about him in an episode of Somebody That Changed My Life. Shout out, Chris, if you're listening. But he saw that potential in me and worked with me of adding things to my plate. And we actually got that level 3 job reclassified as a level 5.
Wow.
Which was a big deal, when I started 14 years ago, because it wasn't necessarily, I don't want to say it wasn't easy, but being union stuff, like they take that stuff very seriously.
Yeah.
And so we really had to prove what I was doing, how much more work that I was doing and all of those things. So, so there's 2 admin roles. And then in the union, there is a level 5S. So that's a specialist job. And there's actually, again, I haven't been in the union in 4+ years. So this is all just based on what I remember. So, don't hold me to anything, right? But even in the 5S role, there were 2 different kinds. So there was somebody on the admin side. So that meant you were supporting an officer of our company.
Okay.
That was a very distinct promotion. It was a whole different job. So it would actually get posted.
Okay.
So even if you were in that job, let's say as a level 5, just being an admin, and then that leader that you were supporting got made an officer of our company, you technically had to apply like everybody else because it was a different classification. It was a different role, mainly because of what the duties of the new officer was getting added to their plate. So that's kind of how they justified it technically being a promotion.
Right.
They were getting more work. You were getting more work as the admin, bigger responsibility, all of those things. And then on the flip side of the 5S role, it was documentation specialist. So that was really somebody that was doing a lot of data work, data entry. We're obviously a company that is very high into engineering. So a lot of
data.
databases, a lot of testing going on.
Yeah.
And then so you could kind of go into that 5S lane and really hone in on like that data support. And then on the flip side, non-union, this is where I think it just is so gray that I couldn't even tell you how we come up with what we come up with, because I don't even know if there is that. I don't know if it exists.
Which is so crazy, because I think, to your point, that to me is what we are oftentimes robbed of, and it is our responsibility in organizations to help them understand the title sometimes in the pay is all we have. We don't get long-term grants. We don't get cash options. We don't get spot bonus. We don't get a lot of different things. The title is like your crown, right?
So, and it has to mean something.
Yeah. And even to your point in the union, like sitting here listening to you, I'm like, this is a natural career progression path for someone. Mm-hmm. Now insert, to your point, corporate America, it is a free-for-all.
Yeah.
I mean, just a free-for-all.
Yeah, and I feel like over time, and I don't necessarily think it's an old school thing or a new school thing, but there were certainly back in the day, you could definitely be a career admin, mm-hmm. and that was very black and white.
Yes.
And there was not that pull like mm-hmm. there is today of growth, breadth in, you know, what you're able to do and learn. And it just opens up the door for so many misinterpretations mm-hmm. of what our title is.
Yes.
Because there are so many.
Yeah.
And there's nothing, I guess, streamlined even across the industry for us. I mean, there's been titles that I'm like, I wouldn't even have known that was an admin role.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, oh, that's really cool. A director of whatever. And then you're like, what do you do?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, well, I support so-and-so C-suite. And I'm like, oh, but that, I would have never thought that. Or they have recognized how big the role is, and they've rewarded them with a cool ass title.
Yeah. Because I think the problem is that the world has stood still for us, but the job has evolved so much.
Yes.
So I think now in this movement that we're seeing in EAs, and in our role and in the EA space, I think now is the time for us to help people understand and feel empowered to speak up. Because to your point, I myself have had crazy titles where, you know, I'm like, I don't know if that makes sense, but I think, to your point, it's very important that there is a natural path of progression, because someone coming in as an admin 1, 2, 3, that's reserved for entry level.
Right.
The next step of progression would be executive assistant, where at our organization you would support an officer level person. Then you go to the top of the top where the C-suite is. Those are more executive business partners.
Yeah.
Because what you do in that executive business partner role is more hybrid chief of staff EA, and it's not a traditional EA role. And then your next natural step would be chief of staff. So it creates a very clear career path and an aspiration that you want to get to if you're a person who's trying to come into the company at an entry level, in a company like ours where you're constantly asked, even 2 months into your first day, what does your career path look like? Well, if I don't even understand what my career path options are, how do you expect me to know?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a very, very fair point. And I think even for us, I feel like there's some of them that like make up their own.
Absolutely.
And you're like, did you just give that to HR and like no pushback, no anything, and like they just entered that for you?
Because signatures And profiles oftentimes do not match.
They do not match. And I think that creates a
war.
A problem. And
yes.
exactly, the whole title war. And sometimes you're like, gosh, I'm supporting the CEO and they got a way cooler title than I do. And I'm thinking, what am I missing? Like,
who's the joke now?
It's like, I got to put deputy CEO under mine now,
Insert new signature line in Outlook. Yes.
Yeah. But, I think then that it just kind of tailspins, right? Of then you kind of get, and not intentionally and not in any bad way, but you kind of start going, what the heck?
Yes.
Does that mean they're getting paid more than I am? Does that mean... Of
course it creates that question. Yeah, like how could it not?
That's the first thing that always comes to my head. And because we are such a, I don't want to say complicated in the sense of complication, but we are a very intricate, I mean, we're a huge Fortune 100 company, right? And so there's a lot of layers, a lot of business units, a lot of all of the kinds of things. And it's hard to then feel like there is a checks and balance in our HR organization of who's even watching like the admin roles and the admin titles. Because I feel like at a exempt level, and exempt in our company is obviously people on salary, your professional hires, all of those things. Because it's very clear that we have comp classes. Comp classes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In them, there are salary grades, right? Like very clean. There's a freaking chart that you can go look at and say, oh, here's this job. This job is this.
Yes.
When you look at our roles as admins, I don't know what the hell they're going off of.
Oh my gosh.
And I just think it then creates this title war.
It does. Absolutely.
Of like, what does that title mean?
Yep. Yes, absolutely. And I agree. And actually sitting here, when you were saying that, I asked ChatGPT, how many different job titles are there for people doing administrative/assistant professional work?
Oh my gosh. Shall we guess? I'm going to say at least 13.
500 different job titles have been reported in the administrative profession. An industry survey cited by the American Society of Administrative Professionals found 500 plus different titles, illustrating just how inconsistent titles are across organizations.
Come on.
ASAP's 2025 research found 27% of admin professionals felt their job title did not align with the actual work they do.
That's huge.
That's huge. And we will post this.
A quarter of...
Yes, we will post this unbelievable list of what traditional titles are. Executive support titles. I mean, executive alone probably has 20.
Yeah. And then just
higher level strategic levels. Office and operation titles, because they fall in administrative professionals, personal and private. Then you have project program focused, legal, medical.
Yeah,
you can get
of course
very specific.
Yeah.
So reception, front end, virtual, remote. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. So it is a much bigger problem.
Yeah. I mean, and certainly nothing the two of us. I mean, as much as I'd like to think we have all of the control in the world to help get this fixed and streamlined, that just proves the point.
Yes, 100%.
Wow.
Yeah, so we will post this, and even with a link to the ASAP 2025 research that, that gave us this eye-opening 500 job titles.
Wow.
That's insane.
That's insane. Yeah. So I would love, we're going to post this when the episode drops.
Yes.
Melissa will add it in the comments, but
add your titles or your unique titles.
Or was your title even listed?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, would love to hear that.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. Like all the different, I think of the roles that I've had. I've been administrative assistant. I've been executive assistant. I've been admin associate. I've been chief executive assistant. I mean, it's crazy just to even think back. Like that's just like 4 or 5 roles. But
yeah,
I mean, that in and of itself should tell you, and none of the jobs were the same.
Yeah, and so obviously in my 14 years, I've had the level 3, the level 5, the level 5S, and now just the one that's kind of
which is still crazy to me that someone who supports a CEO is just an EA.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
like I said, but like I said, like that's the point, that there are people in the company that have way cooler titles than I do.
Yeah, or somebody else on your team has the equal title.
Yeah. Or even a different one.
Right. Like I just don't, that doesn't make logical sense to me, but I digress because that's a whole nother episode.
Exactly.
Okay. So there's another war that is raging as well. No, we're not talking about Iran or any of that.
Thank gosh.
That's going on. Thank God. I'm tired of hearing about that.
Yeah.
But the war of when an executive's title becomes the assistant status.
Mm-hmm.
Big problem, right? Am I hitting home here for anybody?
I'm sure you are.
I mean, it's a juicy angle, but it is a very real problem because I think sometimes, well, I don't think sometimes, I know a lot of times, people treat an assistant based on the title of who they support.
Yes.
Can I get an amen?
And I think too, in a good way and a bad way.
Yes, agreed.
So yeah.
Yes. So I think one question that I would have for you is does supporting a C-suite executive automatically give an EA more influence?
Yes.
I would say yes, 100%.
It should.
And with power comes
responsibility
plus the head swell of, well, who are you to talk to me like this because of who I support? Or, you're on a scheduling call with someone and, I mean, it can go 100 different angles. But yes, I agree with you. I think the higher the title, as it should, automatically gives you more influence or power.
Yeah, and so here's a thing, and to me this will never hit home for me, because 4 years in, it still is just bonkers to me, right? I have said this a million times, like my boss is just my boss. Yeah. Like she's a normal human. She does normal human things, like all of the things, right? Like she has to renew her driver's license like everybody else, go to the dentist, all of those things, right? But in other people's minds, obviously, our interns are back to school, another great successful year of interns. But I am reminded of this every summer when our interns come, of like just how big their eyes are when like they have an opportunity to meet her, and it will never be normal to me. Like it is just, and I don't know if it's because I joined her 13 years ago and like she was obviously way lower in the company, and so like she's always just been that to me. But the other piece of that is exactly what we're talking about, is what other people perceive me to then be. And I was on a customer trip over the summer, and I was talking with our hospitality liaison. She's incredible. She is like, I tease her that she's our own personal party planner of all the things that we get to do. And I'm lucky to have her. And she makes my life so easy when we're doing trips together. But she was like, you have no idea like what your input and your voice can bring in any of the conversations that I'm having, like on your behalf. And I'm like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
She's like, if they know that you said it, like it's going to get done. And I'm like, what? I'm like, but not in a bad way, right? Like we're not like, you're not over here like stampeding on people or anything. She's like, no. But just like your name carries weight. And to me, that is just, it's weird. It's hard to process. I'm not that like attention hungry person. Like it's just, I want us all to work together. Like I'm not any bigger or better than anybody. Like that's just not who I am naturally. And so I was like, really? It was like, no way. But to your point, if depending on the personality of those admins, I think that could certainly go haywire in not a good way. Yeah,
because then I think some EAs also adapt that they have that leader's title, not that of an EA. Which can turn really south.
Yeah, and I can tell you personally, I don't want that ability.
No.
I say all of the time, obviously the money leaders make would be incredible, but there is no amount of money that I would sign up to do the job that any leader in any level at that point, like no way, not for me. It's just not the life I want to live.
No, I don't want that job. I don't want that title.
Happy to support it, and supporting it comes with enough stress.
100%.
But I'm not signing up for that.
100%. Yeah, so I think it's just a really good call out of like, you know, being cognizant of the title that your boss has, what your title is and what your place in that relationship is, as well as we support the hierarchy, not the people who we don't like personally inherit it, right?
Right.
Like, and you know, so I always like to call out that opposite side of the war because I've been on calls, I've interacted with people where it's almost like the expectation is, well, my boss is an officer and you need to do exactly what I'm telling you to because they're the most important person.
Yeah.
No, that's not true.
Yeah, that's definitely not always the case. And, you know, speaking of hierarchy, you know, like for us and probably for most companies, I mean, yes, there is an order in which you should do things, you should be mindful of, you should let, you know, the specific hierarchy, like rule some meetings depending on what the meeting really is, all of those things.
Yes.
But speaking of hierarchy, I guess in the respect of like title wars and what we're kind of chatting about here, is and the timing is just good because, you know, a while ago, you know, we got new officers kind of named, and obviously that is high unless you're on the leadership team, obviously, but like becoming an officer of our company is a big deal. And so we recently had some of those announced, and then
congrats everyone.
Yeah, congrats. And so for the admin, and depending again on if you're in union, not in union, business, state, whatever, you know, that can mean a lot of things. For some, it means you're going to have to reapply for your job and interview like everybody else and may the best person win. For some roles in our company, you could just immediately go with that person. And, you know, again, that's a promotion for you. But it also means something different in the, I guess, realm of the work, right? So
expectations are very
expectations are very different. You are now going to have a microscope on you. You are now one of the top 50 plus of the company. You're going to have to be doing things by the book, things you maybe would have done and like, I'm going to do this and know I'm going to have to ask for forgiveness later. I mean, we're not breaking rules, but you're not maybe following the technical
to the T,
the right protocol, the right steps, all of those things. That changes when you become an officer, right? Like you have to be living, breathing, doing everything the right way. There's no more walking and looking at your cell phone. Like your eyes are on you for safety. All of the things.
You set the tone.
You now are in the small group that you are setting the tone. You are leading by example. And I think that's a piece of like the hierarchy that maybe just people aren't thinking about.
Most certainly, yes.
So I just wanted to, throw that little piece in there also of
no, you're 100%
to be mindful
right. I think that's really important because to your point, that is going to be a very big stretch for some people who support those leaders who get promoted and may have a really hard time understanding what that means for them.
Oh yeah. I mean, I can't imagine that everybody, and obviously everybody doesn't have the aspiration to be an officer at our company. One, because there's no way it can happen, right? Like we're a company of what now 60,000. Our officers of the company have kind of fluctuated between 45 to 60 people. That is a small number. That's no different than your kid like playing travel basketball for their whole life with the expectation that they will get drafted into the NBA. It's just not going to happen. There's not enough spaces.
It gives you a better chance, but it doesn't mean it's a shoe-in.
Right. Yeah. So I think the people that do aspire to be an officer of any company, I would imagine, and this is just me speaking, that their heart is set on the money and the title and not necessarily all of the things that we just mentioned that you now just signed up for. And obviously, if you're that good to become an officer, I would like to think that you're already doing this stuff, or what the hell, how did we get here if you're not? But I just think that's probably a small piece of the title and all of those things. And I know we kind of crossed over out of admins, but it pertains to us too.
It does, 100%.
Like as you're moving up in the admin world, you're going to have to be mindful that you are now the person that should be implementing all of these things. And I'm very mindful. I can't be jaywalking across the street or, going down the stairs on my phone, not paying any attention. Like, I can't imagine, I would be mortified if I was the one that like got reported because I wasn't following a safety guideline. Like, shame on me.
And social media is a good call out on that too, because there is a lot of people that will, and I say in air quotes as Michelle can contest.
She's got them.
We're talking want to friend you because now you guys are peers, only to creep on your page to find stuff that they can then use against you.
Yeah.
And to make you look like a questionable person, that you are deceitful, you're lying, you're putting the company in a bad light, you're not a good representation for your leader. Yes, there should be, separation from personal and work, but that is up to you to create that boundary, because trust me when I say there is people out there who will only friend you on social media
for the wrong reasons.
100%.
Yeah. And that goes into topics we've had many of times about like people that are just out there to destroy you.
100%. Yes. Sadly.
Yeah.
It is a very real truth, but I always like to call that out to people because I'm like, oh, I'm a part of this new team. Like, I need to sit back for like a year and a half before I start letting people have that visibility into my life, because that is sacred to me, and I do not let everyone into that side of my life.
No, like for me, true. Like my social media is, and I'm
very restricted for very good
Yeah,
reasons.
yeah. Now my LinkedIn is one thing, right?
Yes,
like that
absolutely. That's
is
your professional,
that is
yeah.
the stuff.
100%. Please follow me on LinkedIn.
Follow me, follow Melissa, follow all of the things.
Network,
Yeah,
follow
like
whatever.
follow it all. We don't have a Busy Baddies just because it seems like LinkedIn is just not for necessarily podcasts, but that is on Instagram.
Yes.
And
YouTube.
So yeah.
Yeah. Let me do all the shameless plugs.
Yeah. We're like, well, yeah.
But no, all really good points. I think this is a really good conversation around a very important topic because I think, again, there has been a big movement going on in the EA space.
Yeah, we've been saying this since we started the podcast.
And I think there is yet another big movement to come, to the point of the ASAP study that I just found while literally taping this. To me, that is baffling, and why we have not demanded more guardrails, guidelines, and not only just the title discrepancies, but the salaries that go with the titles.
Yeah.
That could be a whole nother podcast.
Yeah,
topic.
For sure.
That's how we got to idiot
work
job
to
of the
do,
week.
HR. Work to do.
Call us if you need a consultant. We will. The first hour is free.
Yeah,
everyone
gladly.
After that is on you, and it's going to be very expensive. But it's definitely a big problem because you have some EAs that are making $30,000-$40,000 less a year than another EA that's got the same title. So
and it's not okay.
Yeah, somebody explain this to me.
Yeah, make it make sense.
That's right. So,
we'll drop the mic on that now.
Put a pin in that until another topic. But hope everybody has a good week.
Yeah, hope you enjoyed the episode, and we'll catch you next week.
See you next time. That's it for us today, bringing order to corporate chaos.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that follow button.
Yours truly, Melissa
and Michelle,
the Busy Baddies.